Tucson is currently contending with the problem of stray animals and pet overpopulation. While animal shelter leaders and experts say the situation is getting better, they acknowledge that more should be done. Cindy Gilliland is a professor of practice at the Eller College of Management at the University of Arizona. She has worked with students to research the stray animal issue in Tucson, and she says the problem is worse here than in other areas.
We have very high rates of poverty. Tucson is fifth in the nation, unfortunately, in terms of overall poverty rates. And where you have high rates of poverty, you also have high rates of animal abandonment. Many people end up having to decide between buying medicine for themselves or buying food for their animals. And unfortunately, people lose their jobs or other situations occur. And as a result, we have an awful lot of stray animals.
Most stray animals are sent to Pima Animal Care Center in Tucson.
Pima Animal Care Center is a municipal animal control, or municipal animal shelter that's responsible for rabies control, essentially. But we really made an effort to move towards an animal welfare organization. Currently, we are housing over 1,000 pets, dogs and cats here, the majority of which are available for adoption. We take in anywhere from 50 to 75 pets per day, majority of those being brought in and turned into us as strays.
Many are also taken to the Humane Society of Southern Arizona.
In southern Arizona alone, there's around 40,000 stray dogs and cats. And to imagine that number, it's really hard to, because it's just such a huge number of stray pets that are fending for themselves. They have no place to call home. They're looking for food. They're starving. They're not vaccinated. They're not spayed. They're not neutered. And so as a result, we have this animal overpopulation issue. So our main mission is to end that.
On Election Day in November, voters in Pima County approved Proposition 415, which will give $22 million to Pima Animal Care Center to upgrade its main facility, which was originally built in 1968. The shelter says it's holding about 2.5 times its initial capacity.
You know, the changes that are mostly brick and mortar. So basically we're looking to build a new shelter that is going to follow higher disease standards, disease control standards, better housing, better care for the pets that come in here. In between now and then, we're going to continue our efforts with working with owners on retention.
Oh, I think it'll be tremendous because Pima Animal Care in particular has been overcrowded. I can't remember the number of animals it was designed to house, but right now I think it's got over double what it's supposed to, and so those badly needed funds will allow them to expand, which will allow them to house more animals, which means that fewer animals will have to be euthanized.
But the fact that Prop 415 passed is amazing. I think it's really great. PAC is making huge efforts to save animals' lives, and I think it's a good thing. It's only going to be $3 extra for taxpayers, and in retrospect that is a minimal amount, especially when you know that you're saving lives and making the community a better and healthy place.
Others are not so enthusiastic about Proposition 415. Lee Busick helps run Hermitage Cat Shelter, which takes in cats from Pima Animal Care to prevent them from being euthanized. She says she has mixed feelings about the money being allocated.
In a broader sense, I'm glad it passed. I mean, the animals need a new shelter. We're working on building a new shelter. It really is all about the animals. Unfortunately, the funding doesn't always get funneled into those operations that it should.
Gallick acknowledged that Pima Animal Care has a ways to go to heal its reputation.
Our biggest challenge, I think, has been to getting the message out that we're not the same shelter that we were 10 years ago. We've had a reputation in our community as being just a dumping ground for pets and, you know, an organization that really doesn't care.
But as Pima Animal Care Center expands its services to become more humane, costs are increasing. The cost for spay and neuter services tripled in 2014, and the city of Tucson will pay $4.2 million for PAC services next year, according to the Arizona Daily Star. These costs, though, are helping to affect change.
If you speak to live release rate, which is a percentage of the animals that come in that are released with positive outcomes, either redemption, rescue, or adoption. 6 years ago we were at 32%. Right now we're above 82. So all of those are, those are all made with a cultural shift, and that trend is something that's going to continue. That with our intake numbers going down because of our spay and neuter, really lands us in a great position to, with the community support, hopefully reach our end goal, which is to become a no-kill community.